Hello and welcome back to another Transformers review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Deluxe Class Age of Extinction Scorn. It is unfortunate, however, that he is an inaccurate reconstruction of the dinosaur he's supposed to be, but, well, we'll get into that more in, well, beast mode. But for now, let's start off by taking a look at the articulation. Alright, starting out. The head is on a ball joint, though given the shaping in the back here, it doesn't really like to do much other than a slight wiggle up and down, but it can actually rotate to either side, which is nice. The shoulders are on a swivel, which can go all the way around, though it does get a little bit tight. There's a hinge outward to about 90 degrees, swivel underneath that. Now this arm can straighten fully and bend to 90, and this arm, which has the same posability above that, unfortunately, well, has 90 degrees here, and then also has another joint here, though more for transformation, and the hand is completely static. Now, there is actually a waist rotation, though it does break the sculpt a bit, but I mean, it is there. Technically it's a transformation joint, but hey, it works. The hips are on ball joints. You can get, we'll get to that, pretty, like, just all the way up. And pretty far to the back, though things do start getting in the way. He's just full of spikes, so everything just kind of starts clashing against each other. There's actually a swivel in the thigh. These do have a tendency to collapse in if you're messing with it too much. And while you can have the leg fairly straight, it does kind of reverse chicken leg thing. It kind of looks a bit weird, honestly. I kind of feel like they could have gotten something here to maybe this folded forward a little bit more into the knee, but it's fine. You do get two joints here, so you can get the leg all the way back anyway, even if it does look a little bit weird and ankle static, but that's kind of to be expected given the design. So, I mean, has really all the articulation you'd want. Now, moving on to accessories, and this is the only one you get. Thankfully, it does store in the, let's call it a lance for now. Just slides into the hand. Perfectly acceptable little short sword. And actually, pretty nice design, though I do kind of wish it was a bit longer. I mean, it's not like they couldn't have fitted in here. Oh well, looks fine. Now for a quick size comparison, and a little bit short, though the spikes on the back do add to the height, so it's not, he doesn't feel too small. Now moving on to the transformation, let's get that stored away again. And now let's go for it. Fold that up there, flip this around the other way and fold it up. You don't want to collapse the hand into the obvious head. And then you're going to use this joint to bring this down until it sort of forms an actual throat here. Now you're going to push the head in. And if I remember correctly, there's a bit of automorph that happens here with the shoulders going down. Yeah, there we go. and then you see the back is actually hinged right here, and that folds up so that the chest of the Dino mode is actually symmetrical, aside for some paint on this side, but the detailing is the same. You want to bring these up here and rotate them. There we go. Until they, pretty sure this actually goes down a little bit further than that, but, well, we'll deal with that in a moment. Important part is to get these lined up. And that needs to be lined up here so that this peg can slot into the shoulder. And I think that's mostly right. Fold. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to go down a bit further. Maybe not. Who knows? Sometimes things like that just don't really work out that well. Anyway, you're going to want to fold up these bits on the side and bring this up here to form the chest and get the smaller than they should be arms. Then you're going to want to collapse the leg down, and also then you're going to want to take this piece and slide it back, bring the hips forward. You're going to want to peg that up like that so that all of this sort of lines up into some proper hips. Collapse the shins in. Collapse these up so that the legs are actually digitigrade, and then bring the robot mode foot towards the front to form the center claws. And you're going to want to bring this. I know there's something that, yeah, okay, the peg is in there. I always forget that. You have to bring this down, and then that tab's in there. There we go. Right. Get this straightened out as best we can anyway, since that really does not want to click in there properly, but it's close enough. Gets the point across anyway. And for the sake of argument, there you have Scorn in his Spinosaurus mode. Now you should know that this is years out of date, in fact. Even aside from the legs being large, which they only really figured out around the time of the movie, they're supposed to be way shorter. Yeah, these arms are way too small. Yeah, these arms are way too small. The claws especially, those are half as long as they should be. Spinosaurus had massive arms. I mean, yeah, safety, but still, those are kind of wimpy. Thankfully, the head seems about right, even if the snout is a bit short. The overall shaping is there, at least. Like I said, I think it should be more like here. Now, as for articulation in this mode, the shoulders are ball jointed, though pretty limited. The hips can still rotate, though the rotation is down here at the robot hip, not up where it should be, so you're not going to get a lot of posability out of that. The knee and the ankle are both still joints, though it does look a little bit weird if you bend this one, so you're going to get a little bit of movement there, but not a ton. Tail is static, though you do get a nice bit of expressiveness from the head, since both the rotation and the elbow, which is now the neck, both still work, so you do get some personality out of it. And the jaw can't open, which Should be able to open further than that, though. I don't know why it's stuck. There we go. Yeah, you can get open that much without breaking the sculpt, and you can move it further, though, at that point. Looks a little bit weird. But, I mean, you can still get a pose, at least. Even if it is a bit of a pain. I will say that the lack of ankle tilt definitely affects this mode more than the other one, but hey, I mean, looks decent. Getting into a quick size comparison, and honestly, he manages to pull some weird match shifting where he feels a lot bigger here, despite being shorter. I guess the tail adds so much length that, yeah, he really comes across as a much larger figure in beast mode rather than in his robot mode, which is definitely interesting. So, to wrap things up, personally, I really quite like this figure, though I am annoyed that the Spinosaurus isn't accurate. The scrap metal aesthetic isn't really my thing, but I do happen to really like the color scheme, and that helps a lot. Even if the painted red on the tail doesn't really match the plastic that well, but yeah, the red stripes on the sail look really nice, and the orange is a nice secondary color. Not to mention, I do really like the teal they used for the eyes and the visor in robot mode. Just overall, the colors are really nice. And the transformation is quite fun too, honestly. It does a good job of turning a very differently shaped dinosaur into a decently humanoid robot. And the trick with the middle toe turning into a spiked boot, I quite like it. But anyway, that's it for this review. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future reviews. And watch my backlog. And as always, until next time, happy building.